District play in Class 3A is quite literally on the horizon in the state of Iowa. And here at Iowa Football, we wanted to bring you guys something a little different. And we wanted to talk predictions across all 6 districts. Our rankers did some work and came up with one team in each district that they think is going to come out on top. And again, districts play starts on Friday. So what better time to bring you guys these predictions? And right now, we've seen these teams play 4 weeks of non-district games. But at the end of the day, the district is really the deciding factor. You can have an 0-4 team in non-district, run the table, go 5-0 in the district, and make the playoffs pretty handedly. So speaking of the format and whatnot, I actually got this set up for you guys. Playoff format in Class 3A. We're gonna have 16 teams qualify, which means you'll have 6 district champions and 6 district runner-ups that are automatic ins. So again, you finish top 2 in your district, you're in the playoffs no matter what. Now, whether you're hosting or playing on the road, that's to be determined. There's a little gray area in that. But you got 6 district champions, 6 district runner-ups, and then 4 wild cards, which is RPI based. So again, the 4 wild cards will use that algorithm that they'll use. You're going to see that posted following district games. You'll see the RPI rankings come out. You're going to want to follow that if you're a team that you think isn't going to finish top 2. If you're right on the edge if you're 3rd or 4th in your district, you can still make it. You just got to be amongst the best, along with the other teams that did not qualify. So again, 6 district champions, 6 district runner-ups, and 4 wild cards. Without further ado, we're going to go into it. These are not like the top 6 teams. These are district champions. So I'm not saying this first team is the number 1 team in the entire state. I'm saying this team is going to win their district, and it's District 3A1. So District 1 in Class 3A. We're going to have 4A and 5A videos coming out later today, but we're going to start with 3A. Our first district champion, our ranker, has Sioux Center. Again, I did not pick these rankings. I'm simply delivering his message. So don't come at me, but I think they all make sense. And I'll tell you what, this one might be decided this week. We got Sioux Center and Harlan squaring off. Harlan obviously 4-0 in the non-district, and inside our top 10, Sioux Center 3-1, and they're also in our top 16. They're 15th, I believe. But you also have some other good teams in this district: MOC Floyd Valley, Boyden Hole, Rock Valley, Carroll, and Sergeant Bluff Luton. So those are the 6 teams duking it out. But right now we see Sioux Center. Again, Bishop Harlan 4-0 and playing well, and this will be a big matchup this week. Sioux Center is really not going to be an aerial threat team. They're only completing 47% of their passes through the air, but they got 4 guys with over 100 rushing yards. They're averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 9 rushing touchdowns on the year. They haven't thrown a pick, so even though they're not the biggest aerial threat in the state, they're not turning the ball over. And they got a guy, tight end, number 40, Carson Brune. He's a Kansas commit. He's got 11 catches for 117 and 3 touchdowns so far. So, again, this is a team that's probably flying under the radar, I'd say. They lost their week 1 game. Kind of ugly. It's pretty easy to admit, to West Lyon, 2-14. But, again, that could have been just getting the kinks out. They've had some nice wins since then. Spirit Lake, they beat by 10. That's a good team. You got Spencer, a 4A team. They beat 35-14. And then Unity Christian, they beat 41-8. So, again, they've got Harlan this week. That could be a game that is really a determining factor in that district right away. Again, those 2 teams facing off this week. But without further ado, let's get on to 3A District 2. Hampton, Dumont, Cal. That's who we got right here. Let me pull up this district. I'm kind of talking as I go. Hampton, Dumont, Cal. And I tell you what, this district is stacked. I could really see this going either way. And honestly, I could see 3 of the 4 wild cards coming from this district alone. I mean, you got Clear Lake 4-0, Hampton, Dumont, Cal 4-0, Algona 3-1. They got Mansky at quarterback. He's not going to be an easy out at all. Charles City, a team we haven't talked at all about, they're 3-1. You got Webster City at 3-1. They'd probably be the favorite if they didn't lose to West Delaware last week. So you got Webster City in there, and you also got Humboldt at 2-2. I mean, Humboldt's a team that's lived in our rankings throughout the whole season. So, I mean, Humboldt, Webster City, Algona, Hampton, Dumont, Cal, Clear Lake, and Charles City. You can make a case for just about any of these teams coming away on top, and this might be a district where you have a team lose once or twice and still win their district. I don't think I see anyone running the table in this district, and if they do, it'd be extremely impressive. But right now, our ranker's going with Hampton, Dumont, Cal, and it's I think a big reason that is this is their latest victory over Nevada. Again, they got Gavin Meter at the helm. He's got 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Again, not the biggest aerial threat in the state of Iowa. What they do is they run the ball, and one of their main guys is Meter. He's got 350 on the ground and 9 touchdowns. They got Brody Walton. He's got 474 on the ground and 4 touchdowns. So again, this team is going to run the ball. They're going to focus on that. Again, they're just coming off a nice win over Nevada. They also have wins over West Marshall, Clarion, Goldfield Downs, and Iowa Falls. Again, all the first 3 of those. The first 3 weeks were pretty much blowouts, and then they get the nice win over Nevada team that is really looking to compete in this 3A class, and that win is boding well for them right now. But again, they start off with Humboldt, probably a team that's going to end up towards the bottom of that district. If I had to say, they're just kind of struggling right now to score. But then next week they got Webster City, and then they got Clear Lake, and then they got Charles City, and then they got Algona. All of those games are going to just be dogfights, and that's a district that we really can see going literally any way. I mean, there's a ton of good teams there, and Clear Lake is one that's kind of quickly rising in our ranks, and you got Webster City just coming off a tough loss. So a lot of big storylines in District 3A-2. But let's get on to District 3 in Class 3A, and we've got Independence. This district is host to Independence, Maquoketa, Central DeWitt, Wahlert Catholic, West Delaware, and Center Point Urbana. Again, our ranker has Independence, and he actually predicted this as a 3-way tie. Independence is the lone-ranked team, but West Delaware, like we said, they played a gauntlet weeks 1 through 3, and they just recently stomped Webster City. So, I mean, it's a team that could be showing something right now. And then Wahlert Catholic, they're always going to be a tough out. So our ranker says he sees this being a 3-way tie, and Independence being district champs based on the highest RPI. Again, a little bit about Independence. They've got E.J. Miller. You might want to remember that name. Again, we posted him earlier in the year. He's got 790 through the air, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's also got 329 yards on the ground. He is really the do-it-all man for Independence right now. E.J. Miller leading the team in passing and rushing by a pretty significant margin, about 150 yards. His favorite target, Brady Kurt. He's got 25 catches for 315 and 2 touchdowns. Tell you what, EJ has 11 touchdowns through the air, and it looks like he's thrown them to 6 different guys, is what I'm seeing right now. But Independence, they're a team that they play good ball. I filmed them last year. They just don't beat themselves, and they've already got some nice wins. They've put up 50 on North Fayette Valley. They beat Crestwood 39-13. They beat Decorah 21-7, and their one loss being to Walk-On 19-28. They'll open up their district play at Central DeWitt this week. Again, we see Independence taking that district. I think West Delaware is a team we don't know a ton about. I think that's probably a team I could see kind of playing spoiler there, especially after their latest win over Webster City. But right now, our 3A ranker has Independence taking it. Let's get on to 3A District 4. Mount Vernon. Let me pull this up quick. Again, Mount Vernon, I think this is a two-headed race at the top. Mount Vernon and Davenport Assumption. Those teams meet in a few weeks, and I think that one is going to kind of be the deciding factor in District 4. They meet next week, it looks like, at Mount Vernon. It looks like that's going to be the first game at Mount Vernon's new field, I believe. Again, Mount Vernon and Assumption, the two kind of top dogs that we see right now in this district. But our ranker has Mount Vernon. I think they just suffered a pretty tough loss to Solon. It's a team that's going to be looking to rebound and looking to bounce back and get a top seed going into the playoffs. Joey Romberg, we talked about him, 900-plus yards through the air, 8 touchdowns. They also got a balanced running attack with Jackson Hurd and Cooper Hurd, both having over 100 yards. Joey Romberg has four rushing touchdowns. Joey's favorite target, Evan Brace, 25 catches for 480 and 4 touchdowns. Again, this is a team that I think we all thought might be, looking for an undefeated year in the regular season until kind of Solon came out of nowhere. Solon was the 11th ranked team, kind of struggling to score. They had been getting hot. So now looking back, I guess it's not a huge surprise that Solon went into First Street Field and beat Mount Vernon. But again, Mount Vernon fell 20-37 to Solon last week, but we still see them taking that district. I will go ahead and move on to 3A District 5. Again, we got 6 districts, so we are getting there. And this one's going to be a fun one. 3A District 5. There's some really good teams in this one. You got Williamsburg, Benton, Grinnell, Solon, Fairfield, and South Tama. And I think this is looking like 4 teams that really could compete. I want to say that someone is going to topple Williamsburg before this point, but man, that's tough to say, especially after some of Williamsburg's quality of wins and what they're looking right now. But I think it's going to be Benton, Grinnell, and Solon really fighting it out for second place. Maybe one of them can spoil Williamsburg, but nevertheless, I think everyone else is going to be kind of beating up on each other in this district. Another district with a lot of quality teams in there, and a lot of teams that could be bidding for that wild card towards the end of the year. But nevertheless, I think Williamsburg and Solon are going to go 1-2 in this one. Benton and Solon probably will duke it out. Benton, a team that's been in our ranks already, and Williamsburg and Solon, they match up in a few weeks. Going to be a ton of fun. I mean, Kellen Cockrell is putting up a historic year through the air. He's got 790 through the air, 16 touchdowns. He's one of the top touchdown scorers in the entire state of Iowa, and they just got playmakers all around him. Nielsen, Braylon Wetjin. I mean, Derek Weiskopf. I feel like his name even kind of gets lost in that team just because he doesn't have the yards and whatnot. But again, they've just got stars all over the place, and it's really hard to see this team falling in the district. So we've got Williamsburg picking that one up, and probably Benton and Solon duking it out for second place in that one. So that was 3A District 5. We will move on to our final district, 3A District 6. Another one where you got two top heavy teams, and I think this one is really going to be decided this Friday night at Creston. This district, you got Creston, Harlan, Nevada, Knoxville, Atlantic, and Perry. Really 3 teams at the top of this that I could easily see being top 5 teams in Class 3A. Creston, Harlan, obviously 2 of the top 3 teams in Class 3A. Again, they're playing this week, and I think the winner of that is really going to end up running away with this district. But I tell you what, Nevada at the 3 spot, that could be a spoiler. I could see them taking down one of those top 2 teams and really causing some havoc in this district. But at the end of the day, Creston and Harlan squaring off this Friday. I think the winner of that one takes this one, and our ranker, as you can see, picked Creston. It is a home game for Creston. It is their homecoming game. I think everyone knows what that brings. And really looking at the numbers, it's hard to disagree with him. Cale Turner, the senior quarterback, might be player of the year in Class 3A. He is completing 68% of his passes. He's got 1,200 yards through the air, 14 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He is just playing exceptionally. And they got a guy in Brennan Hayes who just turns out to be their top rusher and their top receiver. Brennan Hayes, 559 yards on the ground, basically 8 yards to carry. He's got 5 touchdowns. And then through the air, 15 catches, 469 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He is averaging, ladies and gentlemen, 31 yards per catch, which is just mind-boggling to me. Cale Turner himself, he's averaging 19 yards per completion. Every time he completes the ball, it's going for 19 yards. I mean, I'm excited to see that team play. I haven't seen much film, so I'm interested to see what kind of offense they run. I know Creston has had some incredible teams over the past years, but this very well might be the best of all of them. And if Creston can go out and win this game, there's no doubt that they are a title contender up there with Williamsburg in Class 3A. Again, they've already beaten Lewis Central, who is proving to be a 4A contender. They put the stomping on Carroll, put the stomping on Ballard, put the stomping on Winterset. All 3 quality teams in their respective classes. And again, they open up district play with Harlan this week, and then they got Nevada in week 8. So those are the 2 games left on their schedule that I really see being competitive. But again, this district is going to be a ton of fun. I know I've kind of talked about them a while, but Harlan, you got to keep out for them. Will Arkfeld, Cade Sears, another really good QB and wide receiver duo in the state. You know they're going to come to play. You know the tradition that Harlan brings. I wouldn't be surprised if Harlan comes out and win. I think this is just going to be a battle of two greats and a matchup we could easily see at the end of the year in the playoffs or in the Dome yet again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know everyone enjoys looking at predictions. I apologize if your team wasn't predicted to win. We're just looking to bring something new to the table. Again, I appreciate you guys for listening. Be sure to leave a comment. Who's a team that we got to look out for? There's always somebody that comes in and plays spoiler in a district and ends up knocking a team that we thought would win it to a wild card spot. So let me know. Leave a comment so that when it happens that we can go back and say that you called it. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you have any other ideas or stuff you'd like me to talk about, be sure to leave a comment. But nevertheless, thanks, guys, and I will catch you next time.